I'm here with Mike Verna, and PJ Stackpole is hovering in the back over here as he doesn't really let any of his men just get interviewed without him being in the area. I'm not gonna lie, I personally didn't want him here, but you know. So Mike,
You may not have wanted me. You may not have wanted me personally here, but I can trust you to ask intelligent questions. So I'm going to be here, sort of an off-screen editor, to make sure the questions are good. Is that okay with you?
you know, it doesn't
Thank
matter
you.
where I
Now,
go. It's FSW,
first of all,
FBW. I'm kind of sick of seeing your face.
I'm just gonna interject real briefly, then I'll step out. You introduced him. What you didn't say was, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you now to the new FBW heavyweight champion. We are mere minutes away from the championship match where Mike Verna defeated 3 other men for the title. I think that's a good starting point, don't you?
It's my show, so you know what? You can run your show the way you want. I'm gonna run my show the way I want.
All right, Wolverine, you got it. Take the
Clearly he does. He got talent fired. But whether I hate him or love him, PJs tend to be always somewhere. So we got to deal with them.
Where did you guys actually hook up?
Oh God,
This partnership
I don't know. We're working on 10 years. It's actually funny. We started at a senior trip. Post prom. What is it? After prom? Is that the term for it? After prom, Seaside. Listen, there's not many wrestling fans in high school. Let's put it that way. When you find one, you get close to them real quick. And the rest is history. Let's put it that way. We did 3D a human being through a cot and ended up having to pay several $100s by the time we left Seaside at 17 years old, and it's history ever since.
The long story short is, go to prom together. Not together, obviously, but we're at the same prom.
That's fine.
Go to the after prom, a little party afterwards. You need to share a room. And they said, Peach, they said, we're putting you in the ring with Mike. He's a wrestling fan. You'll be fine. And we said, okay. And that was pretty much it.
The rest was history. Like I said, whether I hate him or love him, he tends to always be there. So what am I going to do at this point, right?
Lately you've been kind of in the news a lot. Recently there was a documentary that was being filmed at your last event over at FSW that just came out, and also there's big news. I think I'm gonna let you give the big reveal.
I'm playing Superman in it's called a fan film, but the best way I can explain it is it's similar to like a Tribeca film festival, Comic-Con type film. So it's not in movie theaters. It's pretty much a straight to YouTube, straight to DVD type of thing, but it is being input, given it's a success, into Comic-Con, maybe Tribeca, stuff like that. So it's kind of like a low-budget starter film, let's put it that way. And it's called Men in Black, Kryptonian Wars. It tends to be a crossover between the Men in Black and Superman. Nice. The alien hunters with the nicest alien of all time, taking on a better
Who
evil.
else is in that movie with you, Mike?
PJ Stackpole is playing Lex Luthor. Go figure.
What?
Go figure. Yeah, PJ Stackpole is like the role of Lex Luthor. He may be doing a better job than the one we saw in the most recent Batman movie, Superman movie.
I mean, he certainly has the hair for it, so I think
or lack thereof. But yes, sir. So it's gonna be good. We're starting filming in the next month. So I would look for 6 to 7 month done date, and then we'll take it from there.
Are you actually a big fan of comics?
I am a big fan, believe it or not, of Batman growing up. I was never a big Superman guy. In fact, the way I got my name was I was one day training in the Ludus with Joel, and I was wearing a Superman shirt. And my hair was getting a little sweaty, and I had no beard at the time. And he turned around and said, I got it. Man of Steel. That's it. So that was it. I mean, he wanted my last name to be something different, but I came up with him. I said, look, no matter what name you make me, I don't want to change my first name, and I will tweak my last name. I don't want to make it big one day and be called David Fox or Ethan Chase, as they wanted to call me. Sounds like someone from Hillary Duff, Lizzie McGuire, whatever it is. That being said, we came up with the Man of Steel, Mike Verna, and the rest has been history. So I wouldn't say that I'm not a comic book fan, but it definitely didn't start. Like, I'm not a big mark, for lack of a better word, but I love the characters, and if you're a wrestling fan and you love the art of wrestling, that means you have to love some sort of comics.
I will say this, just to interject about Kryptonian Wars, Men of Black. It is an extraordinarily good script. I think normally you hear they're making a fan film, you think it's going to be really low rent. The script is extraordinary. The graphics are really above par, and I think it's going to be great. I just wanted to interject that.
He's actually said something right for once. But for a low budget, quote unquote.
It was remarkable, I think, how good it was and how surprised I was how good it was. I wouldn't attach my name, believe me, to anything that's going to embarrass me. Yeah. I think it is that good. And I'll go on record of saying that.
The writer and director, Felipe Matos, he's a big fan in comic books, so he really he took his story and his vision very seriously, and he made sure that both stories, Men in Black and Superman, directly correlated in a way where the movie can make sense for real deal fans. And that's what this movie is. It's something made for
By
fans.
fans, for fans.
Exactly. That's it.
Oh, it's super exciting. I mean, as myself, a huge comic book fan, I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Hopefully, I'll love to see some stuff at Comic-Con. I mean, I'm definitely going to be there.
If we can get our foot in the door with that, we'd be in good shape. That's for sure. But it's a start. We got to see. You know, I always say it, not to go off the tracks, but my goal in wrestling and in life is to be as successful as The Rock. And I don't care how fanboy and Marcus that makes me sound, that if you can have the success in the ring and outside the ring as him, you did something good.
So it's fanboyish to be the biggest movie star in Hollywood. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it in a second.
Guilty.
So, I mean, like, coming into tonight, you know, you had already held 2 titles. You know, you had the FSW championship that I've seen you perform at live. I mean, are you becoming like the king of indie wrestling in Brooklyn over here? I mean, how many titles? How big is your bag? Will you be able to actually carry all 3 belts?
I'm flattered by that statement because I like to stay humble. I'm very lucky that my hard work, whether people want to call it hard work or not, or he's just pretty and he has muscles, so he gets whatever people want to say, it's working one way or another, you know. And I wouldn't want to say I'm the king of New York because I think New York has the most talented wrestlers on the independent scene. I mean, the list is just way too long for me to name, but you come to enough shows, you see what we have, you see what New York brings to the table, and to represent multiple companies is a big deal for me. And I will say this, I think there's one person that comes to mind that we'd sell a building out, and that would be Rude Boy Riley, the tier one and Warriors champion, going against the FSW and the 5 Borough Wrestling champion. That's money, baby, hanging for the rafters.
And Mike would never be so arrogant as to do this, so I'm going to do it. Rude Boy Riley, you have 2 belts. Mike's got 3. Between the 2 of you, you do, as you say, dominate New York. Let's make it happen. Put it all aside. Make it happen. Put the politics aside. Put the nonsense aside. Let's make it happen. Man to boy. Man of Steel, Rude Boy. Let's make it happen. Let's give the fans what we want. Let's just see what would happen. It's there for you. Let's do it.
I mean,
I'm the bad guy, he's the good guy, but I'll close on saying me and Riley for the fans, that's what it's all about.
if I have to say something, I think that what the fans really want to see is PJ get in the ring as a competitor.
Boy, well, I'm going to tell you this. Go back to YouTube, type in Mike Verna, PJ Stackpole, and Matt Stryker versus Omega Black, and you'll see the early stages of PJ when he had a soul and a little bit of hair, very little, but he has the best kip up in the Indies. I'll tell you that.
And you know, I heard you guys talking some trash during the match about sports teams. So I need to know, Met fan or Yankee fan?
Have you ever seen my tattoos on my leg?
I don't really look at your leg that closely. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not flattered here. Well, if you can see, I got multiple.
Oh,
Met
this guy's got a Met tattoo. I can confirm this right
I
here.
have multiple Met tattoos. I have 3. I have Piazza's number on the back of my thigh, the MY, and I got the big Met logo. So I am a Mia Myers. Let's put it this way. We went to war today, but at least it went to a Met fan, right?
And the last thing I'll ask. Sorry, I'm going to cut this part out. Just 1 second. I'm just like having a brain fart. Oh, so recently I've been following you. If anyone's been following you on Twitter, they see that you had a little bit of a war with Maxwell Jacob Feinstein.
Oh yeah, lately we have. What, talk about it basically?
Yeah.
Well, June 24th, WFW, World's Finest Wrestling. It's run by Harold O'Harts, who you can see on the ring announcer for NYWC, SWA, and multiple other companies. He is debuting in running his company at the Sportatorium in Deer Park. He's got a hell of a roster. I mean, I'm talking about the New York talent that you see. He's got everyone from A to Z. So it's going to be a 6 show. And he's putting me against Maxwell Jacob Feinstein, who is Brian Myers and Pat Bucks, Creative Pros, one of their breakout students, one of the most talented young guys on the scene right now. And he reminds me so much of myself. You know, breaking into the business with a lot of talent, a lot of charisma, a lot of high hopes behind him, and he's going out there and he's proven to people that he can go. So, you know, out of all the first-time ever matches I've had so far, that one I'm looking forward to. We'll see what happens. Don't get me wrong. Who knows? Kid's a little bit of a snob, a little stuck up, so he may have some tricks up his sleeves, but I'll whoop his ass, worst come to worst.
And I'll just add, if there was one person I could manage outside of, obviously, Mike, it would absolutely be Max Jacob Feinstein, who I think is the hottest young up-and-comer right now, and I think it's going to be a huge match. And like Mike said, I think he's absolutely the blueprint that Mike was. He's got the look, he's got the talent, he's got the attitude, and it's going to be a hell of a match. And Mike's got a little bit of the experience on him, so we're going to see if that pays off.
He may have some more speed.
And Max, if you're looking for an agent, brother, I'm here for you. But in the meantime,
This is why we don't.
In the meantime,
This is why we don't roll together that much anymore. I gotta take him to deal business with me. Yeah, you tell me. This is the nerve. This is why people don't like him and they cheer for me.
And the last question I'll ask you. You guys have been posting the most amazing pictures of each other in this Twitter war. Where are you getting this? Where are you getting this information from?
Facebook is a wonderful thing when you have the spare time, which not many of us do, but I guess randomly we do get the spare time to creep. and when you creep and you dig deep enough, you find some hidden gems. And that's for sure, and I'll leave you on that. You want to find some wrestling gems? Whoever you have friends with on Facebook, look at them, go deep, find what they got, and have some laughs.
All right, well, I want to thank both of you guys. Mike Verna, the new FBW champion, the FSW champion, the last one slipping, the Dynasty champion.
That's upstate New York. I just want to plug them real quick. If you're ever in the Albany area, the Buffalo area, even Troy, New York, even freaking Montreal, if you have the opportunity to go out and see Dynasty Pro Wrestling, that's going to be a company with the production level, the locker room, and the owner, Chris Envy. When you have the opportunity to watch them and see what they're able to do, trust me, they're going to be a household name on the Indies very soon.
Production value that's second to none, and that's really their strong suit. It looks like you're at a wrestling show, and you can't put a price on that.
Thank you guys very much. If you want to catch PJ or Mike, both of them together, you can come out to Fighting Spirit Wrestling's Lucha Libre Extravaganza, which will be May 6th at the American Legion on Avenue N. That's 5601. You can go to fightingspiritwrestling.com and catch tickets. And we hope to see you there.
Yes, sir. And also NYWC tomorrow. I don't know if this is going to air tonight, but April 30th, April Rain, big show for NYWC. It's at the Sportatorium. That'll be tomorrow. Thank you. You're a fucking hell of... I'm sorry. You're an effing... you're a hell of a podcast host.
Oh, thank you guys so much.
No problem.